is here.
Check it out.
And you're locked on to Utah's highest rated, most listened to sports radio station.
It's my station. It's my station.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, welcome in. We're ready to go. Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hope you're all having a great day.
Were we? Hello? Check.
Yeah.
We weren't.
It's hot.
Were we on air? Hopefully we weren't on it. Were we on air?
No.
Okay.
We're all good. I wait until Lloyd. I hear that go ahead from Lloyd. And up until then, everything's fair game.
I'll be happy to repeat it.
No, we're good. Probably good.
Well, yeah, you know who could get away with repeating it? Is our most coveted guest, Tyler Slade.
Of all time.
Here at Tim Daly Nissan. How you doing, Tyler?
It's so good to have you guys here. We had a little bit of an issue last month. You guys were out doing all your stuff that you do with football games, and we rescheduled today, but it's a great day to buy a car.
So good to see all these Nissans on the lots ready to go, and you probably still have some 25s you got to get rid of.
Yes, we do have some left, which means that those deals are definitely where you have the leverage, which I'm happy to give. We've got a lot of things we're going to talk about over the next few hours to tell you all the good things you can do to come by and save money.
Tyler, you've always got your thumb on the pulse of Cougar Nation.
Yeah.
How's Cougar Nation feeling? They just re-signed all their talent.
Okay,
so lost Jay.
Yes.
But then you got this basketball thing, TCU tonight, late night tip. How's Cougar Nation
I
feeling?
don't think there were very many in Cougar Nation that thought that losing Jay would mean that we'd pretty much save everybody.
Yeah.
Like, no one had that on their bingo card.
Nailed it.
Right? And
thought Jay would take at least 3 major talent.
And in my circle, the kudos goes to obviously Kalani, but here's why. Kalani used the Penn State offer to leverage what he needed to keep this team together. Yeah. And it's very clear that that's what's happened.
In terms
the resources.
of NIL.
If Penn State doesn't happen, this may not happen.
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
There's no way, actually.
Yeah.
I think this team is not – it doesn't look like this team without Penn State.
All right, so you watch a Michigan game next year. Are you one of the fans here of football in the state of Utah that will be actively rooting against Michigan, or you be rooting for Michigan?
This is really crazy, but I'm rooting for Kyle Whittingham.
I am too.
Seriously, and it's very strange for me to say that, but all of a sudden it was like a light switch. I'm like, you know what? I want him to go kick some butt at the other blue.
You want Kyle Whittingham and Michigan versus BYU in a national championship.
I would love that.
How crazy would that be?
But is there a better fit for Kyle than Michigan?
And especially where Michigan's at right now.
Right.
It's almost like, this is to a lesser degree, obviously, but Utah State and everything they're going for, when they hired Bronco, it's like, okay, that makes sense. With Kyle going to Michigan, it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
It does.
One of the gentlemen that left this state and went to Michigan with Kyle is one of my best friends on planet Earth. And got a call from him at 5 o'clock in the morning because he's working out and now he's in a different time zone and he thinks it's fun to call Hans. So Amanda's like, what's your phone doing? And why are you answering? It's like, I always answer this call. And I'll tell you, Tyler, life is pretty good for those guys in Michigan. Pretty darn good. And what was interesting as I'm kind of having this conversation with them is I was like, I bet you guys are kind of hurting because you didn't get some of that talent out of this state that you were hoping for. And he said, nope.
Yeah.
We're going to be just fine.
We're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
And he said, let me put it this way. I know college football way better than you. And I know you know it well. And he said, even I wasn't prepared for the level of talent that's at this level. Yeah. He said they're Greek gods everywhere. There's 4 and 5 star guys that we have at our disposal, that we have available. And he said, if we can't win with these guys, then we kind of probably need to move on. He's like, this is a lot of amazing talent.
I think for Kyle, everybody's thinking this is like the end of his career, but I mean, Kyle's real age is probably a lot younger than his, his actual biological age. He's still got it, and now he's got something to prove, and he now has all those resources and assets with those bodies, and he is a line of scrimmage guy. Like, that's been his MO the whole time, is dominate the line of scrimmage. He knew when BYU started to beat Utah, he would say in the postgame, we lost the line of scrimmage, we lost the game. And that's all he would ever say. We won the line of scrimmage, we won the game. That is Big Ten football at its finest.
How can you not win the line of scrimmage by taking over Michigan and having that at your disposal? The other thing is, and big thank you to the Instagram videos that circle. Those are great. Having a lot of fun with those. Got another call on that.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
That said, hey, moron, don't worry about us trying to stomp into your territory and taking Utah talent. We'll be just fine. We don't need to stomp into Utah and take any Utah talent. And I was like, yeah, but you still know that there's a lot of good talent in Utah. They're like, okay.
We lose one, next 4-star up. Next 5-star up.
They're like, do you know how many states we have to pass to get to Utah, to convince a kid from the mountains to come to Michigan? He's like, your video's cute. And I understand that you're trying to stick up for the state. But, you know. So those videos are just the gift that keep on giving. I sure love them. It's just funny, man. It's
By the
funny.
way, you can follow the Zone Instagram account at KSL Sports.
It's just funny because those videos teach you a lot about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, okay, because you get calls. I mean, Scotty got a call.
I got a very
calls.
terse text and phone call.
So, Tyler, Scotty and I have been doing radio collectively in this state for about 45 years.
Feels like it.
Yeah. Feels like I've been with you the whole time.
If you compound our time, it's close to 45 years, probably 44 years-ish. And I've maybe received 3 to maybe 4 calls, a couple cease and desist here and there over the years. And the world of social media, it starts to rack up views. It never goes away. All the comments start to stir, and then everybody who's anybody gets a hold of it, and they're like, call him.
Set him right.
Call him. Tell him what he's doing, because this is
isn't it crazy?
He's lost. And it's like, you get a call, and you're like, oh, hello, Governor. Hello, Governor.
Hello.
That's Scotty's guy.
Yeah.
That is Scotty's guy.
And it's always, it's always funny because – stop it. Because
I love how much you know us, Tyler.
I'll get a phone call, and he's like, well, why didn't you say this and this? I'm like, I did. You just got like a 40-second clip of the whole thing. Like, I did say that.
Yeah.
But
you didn't see it.
But that wasn't the fun part. The fun part was the part we clipped and sent out.
That other voice you're hearing is Tyler Slade.
Yes.
He is Scotty and I's most dear friend and one of our absolute favorite sponsors, Tim Daly Nissan in Southtown. Hey, your boy Will Snowden's coming down to talk football at 2.
Oh,
so
good.
He's going to be sitting in at 2.
So what are you guys hitting on today?
Maybe his son.
Yeah, maybe that might come up
that
a little
might
bit.
Come up.
Yeah. So Will Snowden, the father of, he's on his way to Michigan.
The great Smith Snowden.
Smith Snowden will join us coming up today at 2:05, and he'll hang out, and we'll talk about it.
But we're also going to talk to Will about everything coaching circle. You know, he's very close with all these coaches. With Alpha Recruits, that he's blowing into the stratosphere with it. He's done an amazing job.
What about a guy named Ainge? You got any Ainges on the show today?
Yeah, he's going to join us coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. And another good guy, Mike Sanford's going to join us coming up. Yeah, one of our favorites.
Former collegiate head coach and another one of Scotty's guys.
No.
Well, let's just go and call the governor and get him on, too.
Scotty could.
You want me to text him? Hey, by the way.
Thanks, Tyler.
By the way, Tyler, before I let you go, I was talking to somebody who kind of helps with vehicles up in Logan. Mm-hmm. And I said, you may want to watch one of those vehicles. You might be in trouble.
Oh, yes. We can't talk about that, but if you know, you know.
You know. I thought you might like that.
I just clicked in my mind. Oh, that's going to be awesome. We'll talk about it another day.
Somebody's going to be in for a surprise.
Hey, really quick, too. How's Cougar baseball?
Cougar baseball is 4 weeks away.
Yeah, I know.
And they went out and spent some NIL money on some arms.
Nice.
Did they?
Yeah.
So they improved the mound.
Yeah, which was where their weakness was. So my brother is optimistic about competing at a higher level in the Big 12. This whole Kalani thing and Kevin Young and the basketball team is really given a lot of energy to all the sports because, everybody, if football wins, if basketball wins, everybody wins in the Olympic sports.
Everybody feels the effect, don't they?
Yeah, all of a sudden budgets go up.
Does your brother love coaching baseball?
He loves it.
He's good at it.
Hey, you know what? He's good on the radio, too.
Yeah.
He does a good job.
Yeah, he's learned to do that a little bit,
yeah.
too. He's also a referee for basketball. He does a lot of the high school and JUCO basketball stuff right now.
You tell Coach Slade he's got a spot with us anytime he wants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because nobody's more knowledgeable about baseball than these two guys.
Hey, if we ever get a Major League Baseball,
you figured out hockey.
We might have to steal him off the staff
for sure,
and get him on the air. But the hockey thing, the thing that had me laughing is the game that Jake went to. It's just. Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
55-point loss.
Jake, poor Jake, Jazz fan extraordinaire. Oh,
gets great seats.
Great seats.
He's talking about it all day. Shows up.
Yeah. And then, bam.
Cody Williams got him.
Hey, it came with free food, though.
Yeah, it did.
But what's crazy?
We got him in the club.
What's crazy is the next game.
They beat Cleveland.
It was the most reversed. That's why the Jazz have insane talent.
Yeah.
It's about focusing it and getting it rolling.
All right, we're down here, Tim Daly, Nissan Southtown. You know it, you love it. We've been down here. It's a beautiful facility, crazy inventory, but when you walk in, you're like Norm from Cheers. They're going to treat you like family. They're going to look, Hans and I bought a bunch of vehicles from Jake and the Tim Daly family throughout the years. I have no issue whatsoever saying you come here, you're going to be treated well. I even brought a vehicle in. It's getting serviced right now. Those guys were on it like nothing. It's great. These guys treat you like gold. It's Tim Daly, Nissan, Southtown, and we'll talk more about some of the crazy deals you got going on because Tyler's always got something up his sleeve.
Yep.
Let's go.
It's cooking up right now.
Hans and Scotty, let's kick it off. Starting lineup right now.
This is Hans and Scotty G.
Let's go.
The lineup is set, and it's time to kick off the show with the biggest topic of the day. This is the starting lineup on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It is your starting lineup. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard. He will join us coming up at 2:05. Will Snowden, but another player that a little bit of a gut punch as Smith Snowden on his way to Michigan to play for the Wolverines.
Yeah, there's a couple shots, and I feel like that there was some great news yesterday with Devin Dampierre, and I feel like we really hammered that out of the park. But there are a couple of pieces, Smith Snowden and Salesi Moa, both in the portal headed to Michigan. Salesi was a Utah commit, and it's been announced that he's now headed to Michigan, and then Smith Snowden has been confirmed to Michigan. So a couple of losses, certainly for the University of Utah, but I get the sense that Utah isn't hanging their head over it. Now, those are big losses, for sure, but I get the feel that guys like Sharif Shah look at this as an opportunity to test their coaching ability and to test the cupboards a little bit of who they recruited. Yeah. I was having a conversation with a coach, and I thought it was fantastic. Because every time I talk to a coach, I am reminded how little I know and how much I assume. And so I'm talking to a coach about losing talent, and he said, we put so much time into recruiting guys that we never even get to see. And he said that the public doesn't see this. We'll recruit 8 guys. We'll bring them out of the portal. We'll bring them out of high school. We recruit a ton of guys. And there are 3 or 4 we never even get to see that don't even hit the 3 deep. They just kind of stay on the back of the radar, and they wonder why they're not getting the play time. They wonder why they're not getting looked at by the coach. They wonder. And sometimes those are the diamonds because they've waited, they're hungry, they want the opportunity. A guy leaves, that guy grows into the spot. And I was like, Look, I've been the guy that's under the radar. I've been the guy in the NFL that's waiting for the chance. I totally understood what he was saying to me. Like, it provides an opportunity. And what it does is it shows what a coach has been up to. That's why, like, when a quarterback's coach does not have a number two, when the number two comes in, throws a pick, stalls out 2 drives, loses the game because of a twisted ankle on number one, I don't look at the quarterback and say, that guy's a bum. I look at the quarterback's coach. Who's responsible for having a number two prepared?
Yeah.
And why did that guy just come in? He couldn't make a single read off of an easy middle linebacker drop. He threw it into a dig. He knew that dig was going to be covered over the top by the nickel, bracketed by the linebacker on an under zone, and he throws it right into the linebacker. Who's responsible for that? Why can't he read the simple mid linebacker zone? What? Okay, it got tipped. Well, okay, well, who recruited a 5'11 quarterback that throws a freaking sidearm? Who did that? Show me that guy. He's at fault.
And not saying that it's all on him, but I think that's why there was a movement on Andy Ludwig, because Cam Rising went down, couldn't play, and there wasn't a solidified backfield ready to go. You went with a true freshman, and he wasn't ready yet.
It was a rough look, Scotty.
Yeah.
And as much as I really like and respect Andy
100%.
Ludwig, and I've got all my numbers here, because every time Andy Ludwig comes under attack, I keep these numbers handy so that I can remind people what Andy Ludwig did in his Pac-12 runs with Cam Rising. And those Pac-12 runs are really what put Utah on the map. You got to remember, they beat Oregon 38-10 in 2021. They beat USC 47-24 in 2022. They finished with a 10-3 record and a 9-3 record. They went 5-1 versus USC and Oregon in 21 and 22. That's Andy Ludwig.
Yeah.
So anybody that attacks Andy Ludwig, I always got my numbers ready. I've got my numbers with Cam Rising ready. He had 705 attempts. He completed 453, 65% completion, goes 5,527 yards in the 2 runs to the Pac-12 championship. That's Andy Ludwig. Now, a lot of that's Cam Rising, but that was Andy Ludwig. But that emphasizes the point you just made.
You got to have that quarterback ready to go.
Why did you not?
Yeah.
And what's your excuse? Well, my excuse is I won 2 Pac-12 championships and I built Cam Rising. Yeah, but your job is to have something ready so we don't waste 2 years of our coaching lives, and we don't waste 2 years of our offensive line eligibility. And that's what's happening here. So we got to make the change. And I think Kevin McGivern has a pretty good grasp on that.
Oh, I do too. Absolutely.
Speaking of number twos, did you see the news that was announced yesterday?
About
Trayson Bourget.
Yes.
Announced he's coming back to BYU. And I was just talking about Trayson Bourget yesterday. And I'm saying, well, what's the news on Trayson? Because you need to have a valid number two. Trayson could be that immediate number two. And now having a solid number one and an immediate number two with upside and coming into the final year, now you've got some leeway. Now you can roll the dice a little bit, see if you can find a needle in a haystack with some talent out of the transfer portal and bring him in and raise him up. I do like, and this is not the case, I don't think, with BYU, I do like when you're headed into spring ball and you know who the number one guy is. It's cut pretty clear. But the number two guy, everybody's like buzzing. Like, oh, man, let's see what happens in spring. Could this guy overtake him? Okay, you come out of spring, and it's still Bachmeier number one and so-and-so number two. Now you're going into fall camp, but it got close, and number two took some number one reps. Now you're going into fall camp, and number one is being pressed hard by number two. That's my favorite thing. I don't think that will be the case, but I don't know how much Bear Bachmeier needs that as motivation to grow.
Yeah, probably not at this point.
Sometimes kids are built in, have an intrinsic model of motivation.
And maybe the whole offseason, spring, offseason, and into fall, knowing you're the guy, maybe the elements of development at that point of leadership, getting guys together for workouts, all that other stuff that goes along with it. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, maybe that adds some cachet.
Hans and Scotty, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Take a break, come back, and we will get you squared away with, I tell you what, Danny Ainge joins us next right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Number one. Miss any part of the show? Every moment of every show is available in podcast form by searching Hans and Scotty on your favorite podcasting platform or online at KSLSports.com. This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hans Olsen, Scott Gerard, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The great Danny Ainge is going to join us here in a moment. We have a little bit of breaking news here, Hans. The 2026 College Football Hall of Fame class has been announced. You've got guys like Kajana Carter, remember him, running back for Penn State. Aaron Donald, University of Pittsburgh defensive tackle, old teammate of yours, Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, that's great.
Now in the College Football Hall of Fame. Herman Moore, remember him? He was a quarterback at Virginia. He and Ty Detmer were playing about the same time. Ndamukong Suh from Nebraska. Peter Warrick from Florida State. And also from the University of Utah, Eric Weddle, named to the College Football Hall of Fame.
Man, a lot of good things coming his way.
Also, coaches that you're kind of used to as well. Gary Patterson, head coach at TCU for all those years in the Mountain West and transferred into the Big 12. And then Chris Peterson from Boise State and Washington, also named to the College Football Hall of Fame.
How amazing would it be to be in a College Sport Hall of Fame? I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
I got to imagine our next guest is in one.
I would imagine, yes.
I would have to imagine. But great for Eric Weddle, and the accolades are going to keep coming for Eric. And I don't know what we need to do to keep the ball rolling to make sure that the NFL Hall of Fame has him solidly in consideration. But some things go well beyond numbers. You know, when you talk about Eric coming back out of retirement, jumping on with the C on his jersey and taking a team to a Super Bowl as a captain out of retirement.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
You have to attach that to Eric Weddle's legacy, but congratulations to him being announced for the College Football Hall of Fame.
With that, let's get to our next guest, Danny Ainge.
It's time to talk Jazz basketball with the CEO of the Utah Jazz and NBA legend, Danny Ainge, with Hans Olsen and Scotty G on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, joining us now, it is Danny Ainge right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Danny, how are you?
Hey, Danny.
How we doing, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
You know, the roller coaster that you go on sometimes is crazy. You have a really difficult, tough loss to Charlotte, and then you turn around and beat Cleveland. And I think all of us are like, wow, the whiplash of that is really something else.
Yeah, I mean, I've lived this world for a long time, many years, and sometimes have been involved in a 40-point win and have a back-to-back with the same team and lose by 40. I mean, the NBA is crazy that way, and this year probably more than any other year. But, yeah, that loss was tough, and that win was good, fun.
I think that's very well put. I think it's as well put as it could be. So, you know, when you look at it, Danny, the loss to Charlotte, the difficult loss to Charlotte, and then rebounding a night later and getting that win against Cleveland. What is it, in your opinion, and not this game in particular, but what is it sometimes that does change on that 40-point turnaround that you're talking about?
I think that some of it is just a resolve. I mean, when you play a lot of games, sometimes the team resolve isn't there, but also the momentum. I mean, Charlotte was making every shot. We were missing lay-ins. I mean, it was just one of those things that the pressure mounted while, like, usually when you get it behind, the pressure is relieved and you can fight back and you play a little bit less stress-free when you're down 20 or something in a game, and that happens all the time in our league. But sometimes the pressure just keeps mounting because like 3 or 4 guys just can't make a shot, and then they're pressing, and the whole team's pressing, and it's just that was a bad one.
So you rebound very quickly, and you get that win against Cleveland. How hard is it as a player, or is it pretty easy as a player just to say, okay, that's behind us, time to move on, and not let those losses, because Jerry Sloan used to say you can't play backwards. How hard is that as a player to just move on and say, okay, that happened, now let's go and get a big win in Cleveland?
I think you get used to it in the NBA just because you play so many games, and sometimes it's the next day, and it's usually at least a day later, 2 days in between game or 1 day in between games, and so you just know, like you can't get overexcited on a win, and you can't get too upset on a loss, and you just got to go earn your money and earn your job the next day. Someone will take it from you.
So, Danny, you're at 39 games, a couple of games away from the halfway point. And by the way, in the middle of this 5-game road trip that I'm sure is tough for these guys, but a couple of games away from the halfway point. Do you evaluate your team, your roster, more at the halfway point, or do you spend more time in evaluation at the trade deadline? In your position with your mind and your vision and your responsibilities, where do you really pour your evaluation into this team and some of the hard decisions and heavy and big decisions you're going to have to make?
Just the evaluation right now is just on the progress of our players. Like one guy as an example that I feel like has really progressed this year is Walt. Just because he kind of, he's coming from a national championship team. He's been the leader of that team and directed them to a title as high as you can get in college. And, he wasn't in that role. He didn't have the ball as much, wasn't the lead guard, had to play with really good players. And it was just a completely different thing. And, early in the year, I thought he was just thinking way too much, and now he's starting to progress. He's like overcome some mental hurdles, and he's back in it, back in the game, and he's had some really good ones.
What do we got to do to get Lauri Markkanen into an all-star game, because he's having that kind of a season?
Yeah, the all-star games are tough. Like, it's not always about who deserves to be there, unfortunately. It's there's certain names that are going to get there, and either get most likely Doncic and Steph Curry and Devin Booker and Anthony Edwards and Jamal Murray. Like, those guys are tough to overcome. Jokic, those guys are like all and then Wembanyama with the attention that he's gotten. I think that there's about 9 or 10 guys that are just like locks. Automatics. And so sometimes you got to do it 2 years in a row. Now Lowry was in the All-Star game 2 years ago, so that might help. Keontae's developing a great reputation and a great name around the league, but I have no idea where. It just feels unlikely, but they're playing like All-Stars, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I think the league is in an interesting point, and Scotty and I were talking about the TV numbers. What was the jump, Scotty? Was it 18%?
Yeah, 11, 12% in some areas. Yeah.
It's a nice jump on viewership and interest in the game, which is awesome. Which, when you're at the back end of a LeBron James career and a Steph Curry maybe career, and you've lost some of the greats, I think it's amazing that you can hold TV numbers and continue to see them grow. But we're in a really interesting point where players are demanding trades and teams are putting players up and players with big name rights. When you see stuff like Trae Young or, you're seeing stuff with Memphis, how much do your ears go up and how much do you dig? Do you start into contacts of, oh, well, this guy's he's pressing the panic button and maybe there's some trouble and maybe I can just kind of see what's going on. How do you work that, Danny, where there's so much noise and players pushing their weight around, or teams that are looking at contracts and saying this player needs to go. How do you manage that with other teams in the league?
Well, we always pay attention to top name players, and we follow. We usually find out well before, like, it comes out that player makes a public statement or a team is, looking to shop. We pretty much know that for well before, some cases year before that hit this rate. So there's been a lot of evaluation on all the players, but there's a lot that come into concern: the age, the health, contract. How do you build around them? How do you, build around the special player? How do they fit with the current players that you have and that you want to keep? There's just a lot of factors that go into all of that. But that evaluation is nonstop in our league.
Do you feel like you've got the handle on most things that go down, or are there still some trades that you'll see pop up on Twitter or something, or on SportsCenter? You're like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Do you usually know in advance when things are about to go and how it's going to play out?
Yeah, the Luka Doncic one was one that we didn't, but I think that pretty much most of them we do.
Yeah, the Luka Doncic caught all of us.
I think it caught all of us a little bit by surprise on that one.
I just remember.
Yeah, it's almost like one side or the other didn't, or both sides didn't want anybody to know, and they have a relationship, but they don't want it to get out, because it could get blown up. Someone calls with a better offer, or someone gets public, and then it falls through, which happens way too often when there are conversations, but they fall through for one reason or another. But that was obviously a very interesting one.
Certainly no names. You don't have to share any names or anything, nor am I asking you to. But have there been executives, or maybe even current executives, that you almost don't want to deal with because you can't trust them to keep quiet in a negotiation?
Oh yeah, over the years, that definitely is the case. Ultimately, you still get to the point where you have to have a conversation if you want to get the best deals. But some that you have to emphasize to keep this quiet and not talk. But there are some people that have media people on their speed dials, and maybe for security, they're constantly talking to the media.
Danny, I wanted to get a thought from you on Alex Jensen. I know you know Alex really well, and he's trying to build a product. What are some of Alex's best attributes as a coach? Because Scotty and I are big fans of his, and we know he was close in conversations for coaching positions in the NBA. And I'm just hoping that there's patience, and then there's all kinds of revenue given to him so he can build what he needs to build. But what makes Alex Jensen great?
I like his demeanor. I like just how emotionally stable he is. And he's also very smart and experienced. There was a time when Alex was like a hot commodity, for the NBA when he was coming out of the G League. And I'm a big fan as a person and as a coach. I just think he's got a lot of great qualities in coaching, and I think he's going to do fine. If we could just be a little bit patient, he's going to be fine. I think he'll do a wonderful job.
So the other night, Neemias Queta had a 20-rebound night, and I remember watching you. Your son was on that Utah State team that had Sam Merrill and Nimi, and it was really a fun team to watch, Abel Porter and that crew. When you saw Nimi back in the day, did you feel like, hey, this guy could play at the next level?
Yeah, no doubt. I thought Nimi was a wonderful young player. Then he had an ACL injury, and that kind of set him back a little bit, but he had some really good hands and talent and touch, and he had a lot of really good qualities. And then, after his injury and then his draft class, then I saw him play in the G League, And I thought he was the best big guy in the G League, that year. He was very hardworking and looked like he had fully recovered. And Boston's got themselves a pretty good center that's having a good year for them.
Okay, Danny, I need a moment of real truth. And I'm not talking about, second ball on the ground, Danny. I'm talking about first ball on the tee, Danny Ainge. How many hole-in-ones have you hit in your life?
One.
Have you talked to Ryan about his?
Ryan has 3. Yesterday was his 3rd.
Oh my gosh. Right, and what's crazy about Ryan is, of course, he's going to have a couple of Hollywood actors and cameras on him when he hits his. I'm going to get my first, and there's going to be a crow that caws over the top of me, and it's going to be on some dirt track in Vegas.
And it's going to be on a Sunday afternoon, and you can't tell anybody. Can't say that you were golfing on a Sunday.
I can't even tell my Elders Quorum advisor that I was on a Vegas course on Sunday. It's going to come at the worst time for me, Danny.
Well, when you get one, it's okay. You know that you got one. Good.
Yeah, it's just me.
No matter how many people, no matter how many people know that you got one. I mean, Ryan's son got one during the holidays. They were on vacation in Cabo, and he got one, and he's 12. No, I'm 13 now. So, they happen. You don't have to be the best golfers to get a hole-in-one, and Ryan just got really, really lucky.
Does Austin have one?
I don't know. Yes. I think Austin does have one. Yeah, at least one.
Do you remember the course, the hole, what club you were hitting on yours?
Yeah, mine was like 130-yard, and I hit wedge, and I hit past the hole, spun back in. Yeah, it was fun. It was in Scottsdale at the National.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Man, someday, for me, it's going to be Mulligan's.
Or Mick Riley.
It's going to be a 78-yard, 60-degree spin back.
With a 7-iron.
Bounced off the hill.
Off a tree.
Well, Danny, we love it. Tell Ryan congratulations from us. The video had us all laughing. It was funny. He throws the club and throws the hands up in the air. You never know how you're going to react, but I do have a celebration ready when that time comes.
Yeah, it was a one-hopper. It was just hopped once and went in the hole. It
on a great course.
It was fun to see. On that little hole downhill. It was good. And Michael Pena, we were celebrating Michael Pena's 50th birthday.
Oh, okay.
So
Heck of an actor. Heck of an actor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Danny, have you got the NHL fever? Have you got this ice hockey fever?
Yeah, I have. I don't have a chance because I'm so into the NBA and the college and G League seasons. It's hard to watch full games, but if I'm not watching a game, I am paying attention to the score. So yeah, it's been fun.
I always wondered if the NBA
last night.
I always wondered if the NBA allowed a McBain-like situation from the other night where McBain set square some debt on a player that may have been a part of a bad situation.
Yeah, and try to take care of business on his own.
That is not. That's a 5-game suspension at least.
Yeah.
An immediate ejection from both players and a 5-game suspension. So, yeah, that doesn't work in the NBA.
Danny, we appreciate your time as always.
All right,
thanks.
and by the way, that Eric story is really cool. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
when he went to the Super Bowl. That was amazing. What a great
Eric Weddle, yeah.
story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about that. Very deserving of the College Football Hall of Fame, but he's an NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah, we got to get
nominee.
We got to get a gold jacket on him before it's all said and done.
Well, I don't really remember all the great things that he's done in his career like I should, but I'm sure he had a great career, but that was amazing story. Fun to follow.
He's a good man, just like you. Thanks, Danny.
You're the best, Danny. Thank you.
All right, guys. See ya.
There he is. Danny Ainge right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
1 hole in 1 for Danny. Sorry
Yes.
about my voice. I don't know what happened.
You want to make it right.
Puberty.
Yeah.
We got emotional.
Tyler hits me with the puberty. Oh, man. Was it one of the Bradys? Which one?
Peter Brady.
Was it Peter?
When it's time to change.
Whether I was emotional or hitting puberty, man, what a terrible time for
the kids these days don't get that reference anymore.
Yeah, but Tyler, you do. I mean, that's our era, right? But great stuff by Danny. And, you always wondered, because you saw the John Morant thing.
Yeah.
We all see the Trae Young thing. And Danny's sitting on a treasure trove. He's got some really big assets. And now he's got guys like Keontae George that are catching eye and Lauri Markkanen. And I've always wondered, you're looking at a guy that he's either been a top 5 NBA scorer or is currently a top 5 NBA scorer, or at least he's a top 8, and you project him to be top 5 if I give him the right coach.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's disgruntled, or all of a sudden his current team feels like his contract and his attitude and his winning percentage is all not where it needs to be. And I can't help but think, if I'm Danny Ainge,
Oh, that's what they're waiting on.
do I go and I'm like, okay, I know that he's flashed a couple of gun signs and I know he's had some problems, but if I get him here with the Utah Jazz, and let's say I can keep Lauri Markkanen and I can keep Walker Kessler, and Kessler comes back healthy, and maybe I lose a Keontae George, but I add a John Morant. Could I not?
Ja's not going to be the guy.
Not reform.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, if it's a guy like Ja, yes. Ja Morant specifically, no.
Not the guy. Okay, Trae Young.
No, this was one of those where we saw Luka kind of getting a little salty with Dallas and thinking, okay, that's the guy you go all in for. And there's going to be a handful of those guys that pop up. But the thing is, you don't want to pull the trigger too soon.
Which makes the Luka thing even more ludicrous.
Oh, I know.
Because hearing it come from Danny Ainge,
he was surprised.
Adds a different layer of ick to me.
Yeah.
I can't believe that deal was done in dark.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler's going to hang out with us coming up on the other side. We're live here at Tim Daly Nissan Southtown, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.